Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'm sitting down with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. Their new show, LA's Finest, is an action-packed dramedy that follows Sid and Nancy, partners in the LAPD who have completely different lifestyles but make for an unstoppable team. Take a look.
Keep the car straight, please.
If I see you make that duck face one more time, I'm slamming on the brakes. What are you doing anyway?
Dating.
Online?
Don't judge me just because you're out of the game.
I'm not out of the game. I won the game.
You did not win the game. The game played you.
Well, does the game make you breakfast in bed or fix a leaky faucet?
My building has maintenance and food can be delivered. Oh, whoa. Check that out.
Oh, is that a Toblerone?
Guess again.
Oh, God.
Please help me welcome Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm so geeked to be sitting here with you, as is our audience. This is a packed house. People love you guys, and they're gonna love this show. One, because your dynamic is so amazing on this show. You're friends of mine already, like on this show. You're like women that I am friends with in real life and that I wanna be. So take me to the beginning of this, Gabrielle. I know this was a passion project for you, something that you really pushed forward.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see what became of Sid. You know, oftentimes women in action franchises sort of become the forgotten folk. They tend to be a bit underdeveloped and tend to need to be saved. Except Sid arrived kind of out of thin air as Marcus Burnett's sister and the lover of, you know, Mike Lowry. But she worked at the DEA, so she had to have been capable at some point. And somewhere along the way, she needed to be saved by her brother and her lover. So I wanted to sort of explore, what if we explore Sid's capability? And so in order to do that, we decided to send her to the other side of the country, partner her up with another capable, badass partner in Nancy McKenna, and they're both sort of harboring their own mysteries and complex, you know, personalities and complicated lives. And if anyone needs saving, they tend to save each other.
Yeah. And of course, you're mentioning Sid this is a spinoff from the Bad Boys movies, which we all know and love, which is so exciting, especially too that the third one's coming out. So the timing of this just feels so perfect. Was that on accident or just sort of serendipity?
It was accidental, because, you know, Bad Boys 3 was, you know, they'd been talking about it since we finished the second one, like almost 15, 20 years ago. So it's just random, the timing. And we had been having this conversation, whatever became of different characters that I'd played. And it was like, whatever happened to Isis from Bring It On? Is she, you know... I was like, did she go on become like a Laker girl or a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader? We don't know.
I feel like she might be a real estate developer.
Maybe.
Yeah, that felt like
she's
on
probably
point.
selling flat tummy tea, though.
Instagram influencers, you gotta watch out
she's
for
an
those.
influencer.
And Jessica, what was it about this script that made you want to be a part of LA's Finest?
Well, it was, when I read the script, it was the role that I always wanted to play. I love action. I've always loved action, and I love comedy. And I'm a huge fan of like Die Hard and Bad Boys and Lethal Weapon and Beverly Hills Cops. And I like always wanted to be not the girl in any of those movies. I wanted to be the dudes. Like I wanted to have fun. But often in those action genres, the women need to be saved. Even if they are in the DEA, or they're super one note, or they're super masculine. And what I liked is like our characters are women, we're feminine, and we're women in totally different ways. We're not like, a lot of times when you have two female characters, they're pretty interchangeable. But our characters are really distinct in our approach, our personalities. Gab's character's single and living her very best life. And my character is married and a new stepmom to a teenage daughter, and she's not good at it. And so we get to crack jokes, we get to kick ass, but we also get to not be perfect. And we have, you know, secrets, and we don't always have the answers. And instead of a guy coming in and saving us, we get to be there for each other.
I think that's what's gonna surprise viewers the most, is that you may think you know what this show is based on the trailer, and then the moment you get through the pilot into the second, and I watched the third episode, these characters are so layered, and they have these deep histories, and there's so much goodness to uncover, and so you have to keep watching. Yeah. So how fun is it to get to play a character that is so nuanced and so complex, and just, it's hard to pin either of them down, really?
Yeah, I mean, we're just incredibly lucky, but that's also a testament to being the stars in front of and behind the camera. So when we got Jessica to sign on, first order of business was to make sure that we were both executive producers, so we can have a bit more control over the content of the show, be able to shape the characters' journeys, and also kind of control the environment and the experience on set, and all of that goes into what you've seen through the first 3 episodes, which is dynamic and explosive and sexy and funny and oh shit. I got to keep watching what's going to happen next, because we were able to spin our own mythologies and create this sort of parallel universe that runs alongside and on occasion via John Sally, cross over into the Bad Boys dude universe.
Yeah, there's John Sally. There's also a lot of other little Easter eggs in there if people are paying attention. Bubblicious. I don't know if you guys remember that from Bad Boys, but there's a little, which I love and I think fans will appreciate. You talk about being executive producers and creating an atmosphere that was really workable for you. Jessica, I know that you had a baby at that time and you were able to breastfeed and bring your kids to set. And that's something that you guys decided on together. So take me through that and how special and unique that is to have a set like that.
Well, I think anyone who is working and has children has a tough time, especially if you are even given the privilege of having a maternity or a paternity leave. Getting back into work is hard, and it feels every time. This is my 3rd kid, and even my 3rd time, it feels confusing and hard, and I'm pulled, but to be able to bring my kids into my work life, that is important to me. And even when I put together my business, I made sure that there's space not just for people to live happy and we have healthy snacks and all the things, but we have like a mother's room. We have a space where like people, women can nurse and breastfeed. That's in a dignified way, because I was doing it on like random gross toilets in public restrooms. And it's not usually the most awesome, dignified way to try and keep your child alive. And so I also have a space where kids are welcome. And I always try to integrate my kids into my work life. And I want them to see and be proud that I'm working and I'm showing up for them as well in that way. So when I signed on, I was like, you probably don't want to hire me because I just had a baby, and if I do this, I'm going to be breastfeeding, and that means that whenever, it's usually around 2.5 to 3.5 hours, that's going to need to happen. And it's tough to do that, especially on a Hollywood set. They're really not that into, moms. And Gab was like, no problem, we'll figure it out. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, I need a trailer where I can put my baby. He's gonna have to take naps and changing tables and things like that. She's like, yeah, we're gonna figure that out. Yeah. And I was like, really? And she did, and we did, and it's unprecedented to have an action show starring 2 women of color and then Gab became a new mom, and then we both have infants on set. So we're out there kicking butt, taking names, and then going to our trailers, and we're moms, and we're hands-on moms with our babes. Yeah, and it's really cool.
She mentioned you welcomed Kavya in the middle of shooting.
Yeah.
That's fun. How did you, just change, your mindset's changing and being on set, but obviously you had this family-friendly set, which probably helped transition a little more.
Yeah, she came early, so I wasn't exactly prepared. So luckily, while I was gone, we had worked out that I was going to have 2 weeks maternity leave, and let's go back a little further. So our surrogate calls, and she's like, "I'm in labor," and I panic because it's early. I'm not ready, and I had, I'd gotten off work the night before, so I had my wig braids on, if anyone's familiar with what that looks like. It's not the cutest. And I was headed to the gym with a scully and a bandana on. And so when she called, I turned back around. I called my boy, and I was like, bring a wig. And then I just took off to the hospital. I didn't grab the bag, the car seat. I didn't grab anything. So I'm on the freeway headed to, the hospital, and I called Jess, and she's like, okay, so you got the car seat? And I was like, I got a wig. And she was like, you got, your overnight bag? I was like, I got a wig. And so she just called, she called in reinforcements, got everything I needed there, and then outfitted my trailer to make it identical to hers. So when I got off, maternity leave, and she worked it out, so I got an extra week. So instead of 2 weeks, they gave me 3, and she held it down. That all fell on her, and she didn't, complain. It was just like, bet, no problem. And I walked back into set with my brand new, miracle baby, and didn't miss a beat. And wasn't made to feel weird or like a nuisance or like, oh, it was just another day. And we got through it and beautifully, and we turned in our show on time, and it's amazing.
What does it mean for you guys to have each other? Because I would imagine that's sort of a rare thing to find somebody that you vibe with, that is in a similar place in their life, who can be there for you when you need them. And then also you go on camera and you kick ass and you make this amazing show. Like, that's pretty special.
Yeah. It's rare.
It's super rare, yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
Did you guys know each other before this?
Yeah, we knew each other, and we both knew that we had a fondness for tequila, and not being like right in the middle of the Hollywood parties, but sort of standing on the sidelines and just kind of like understanding the stuff that happens, but not always feeling the most comfortable mixing in with it. And so I was often at the bar talking to the bartender, refilling my drink. And that's also where Gab and I would kind of like say, hey, what's up? And I knew her work, and just she has a great reputation, and she has a full life. And so I think it's important when you can nurture more than just a career, and you do have other priorities, and you are a whole and complete person, then when you are showing up to work, you're showing up with compassion that other people have lives as well. You're not entitled to think that the world revolves around you. And I think that it's important for collaboration and for there to be true teamwork for us both to show up in that same way. So
I want to talk a little bit too about prepping for this role. It's highly physical. So what sort of training did you guys have to do on set? Because you're shooting a lot, you're flipping people a lot, punching, kicking, the whole bit.
Well, we're lucky in that way that Jessica comes from an action background. I come from an action background. A lot of people are like, and I had to do all this training. This is how we live, honey. We are badass boss chicks in real life.
But I'm a much better driver.
Much better driver. It's not even close. It's not
Not even gonna fight.
She got that. And she had learned how to ride a motorcycle for Dark Angel, and I had to learn how to ride a Ducati for this show. And she's like, no, it's super easy. And I'm like, I can barely hold this thing up.
Yeah, but it wasn't fair that they gave you something so heavy.
The bike was
too heavy, especially for your first.
And they were like, it's not a big deal. Like, don't even worry about it. And I accidentally dropped it, and they acted like I'd lost the Queen's jewels. And they're like, do you know how expensive a Ducati is? I was like, you said it was no problem. But we randomly also, worked out at the same gym. So as I'm hitting it, Jess is over there. She's hitting it. So we'd both already done some tactical training and stuff.
You're much better at working out than I am.
Not true.
No, true. Not true. Every morning she would come in. She literally would spend 5 days a week.
Out of boredom and unemployment.
No, that is not true. I would come in and she would make me feel like I needed to be healthier. So I would just drink more water. And be like, this is me being healthy. Drink more coffee. But yeah, I don't have the energy this girl has. I'm like, her work ethic is really admirable.
But no, we didn't need special training. We'd already had it.
Yeah, we already had it. We already know how to do all the things. Yeah. We're probably much more. We're pretty good at it.
Yeah. We have like an LAPD
person to tell us, this is how the LAPD hold the thing or do the stuff or clear a room. But we've all
guns hold the things. Are you talking about guns?
Yeah. But it depends, like what type of Glock, or your own personal versus when they issue you, or things.
Also, a fun factoid: I was watching the show No Activity, and
God.
I thought it was really funny. And you play an actress prepping to play a cop.
In this, yeah.
And I was like, this is a weird meta moment.
Yeah,
has anybody talked about that? Like,
I don't think anybody's talked about
it. You were so funny in that.
Yeah.
People sleep on how funny Jessica is.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Yeah. Guys, you got to check out No Activity. She plays an actress herself, because she's going to be playing a cop in a show, and so she's doing a ride along with real cops, and she gets real extra, and it's fantastic. So check it out. Check it out, please.
It's my little secret.
Sorry, I just shared it with the world. I needed people to know about it. Also, Gabrielle, you have AGT. I want to know how that's going because that is like a full juggernaut.
It is, and it's season 14, so I'm new. I feel like the new kid. I'm like, what's happening? But no, the talent, the worldwide talent is unbelievable. And we're a part of an industry that is all about the no, oh no, no, not you, oh hell no, not you. And so being a part of, yes, absolutely you, nobody but you, and making dreams come true, that is something that kind of refills my well and gives me some wings. So I really love the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, getting to be a positive force, especially in this climate, must feel pretty nice.
Yeah, and I'm not a mean judge. You know what I mean? Like I have no problem. I'm the Paula. I'm gonna be nice because I remember. Don't you remember every evil rejection you've ever gotten in this?
All of. By the way, in case anybody's wondering, for every yes, like we get 1,000 no's. So everyone just sees the yes and the success, but what it took to get there is like, it's the grind, it's the hustle, and a lot of people can't deal with it, which is why the very few people that can kind of get through all that heartache and all that rejection are the people that are, kind of pop. But there's not a lot of us that have, that armor that can handle it, but it's tough.
It's the rejections can be brutal, and sometimes the way people say things or the way they are relayed to you, like you. I mean, there's a rejection from '96. If you think that I haven't forgotten who said it, I live for an FU moment. I'm like the player that got traded in the middle of the season and comes back to like kill their previous team in the finals. Like I live for these moments. And I remember I was auditioning and I was testing for a pilot on UPN. Google the network; it no longer exists. Coincidence? I think not. But it was between me and another girl. Well, she's known, Bianca Lawson from Queen Sugar fame, who's lovely. And they said she ended up getting the job. And my manager was like, why? Is there anything that we can give her to work on for the next gig? And they were like, no, Bianca's just prettier. Okay. But what do you like? There's nothing I can do with it. I can't go to a class to get better at that. But it's like, so when I'm on this, on the judges panel on AGT, and I'm trying to give somebody something to, even if it's a no, like what you're gonna walk away with. I'm not trying to be the judge that like crushes your spirit. Dancing, not for you. Try to be a little more positive.
First of all, you're beautiful, so that person's an asshole. And yeah, I think that's like such a positive thing to just be spreading the positivity now instead of the hate. It's everywhere. Also, really quick, I want to chat with you about Honest Company, talking about the obstacles of getting something off the ground. It's a $1 billion company.
Well, no, I mean, that's a valuation.
Yeah.
That's not,
Well, I mean, I'll say it. Yeah, I mean, I'll say it. You don't have to say it.
Keep it 100. It's a $1 billion company.
I know. I read it in Forbes. So
I mean, it's a great. It's a great idea. I would say, clean, transparent, good ingredients, healthy for you, people living their best lives, and within a price point that people can afford. Direct to consumer was like something that no one was doing in my product categories. Yeah.
So do you guys have any new products or anything new coming out that I need to go buy?
Yes.
I probably will go buy.
So many. Well, I wanted to create a clean beauty line, so I make skincare and makeup products. And there's really no one doing clean makeup, especially makeup that actually looks like something and not just layers of dirt on your face. And one of our new products I'm wearing, it's a long wear lip color, and it's made without this ingredient that even the quote unquote natural players use. It's called isododecane. It's a long word. I know these words now because I have this company. I have like 12 chemists in my office. But we try to formulate with as many natural ingredients as possible, and a lot of food-grade ingredients, actually. But you still get the pigment, you still get the payoff, and you don't have to worry that the ingredients aren't safe.
I love that. Once you realize that there's like messed up ingredients in all your stuff, it changes your life. Like it makes you so much more an advocate in your life, which is why I just really respect the work that you've done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go, we do have a couple audience questions. So the first one.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Good.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to you, Jessica, on your baby, and congratulations to you, Gabrielle, on getting the blessing you always wanted. I actually follow Baby K on social media every morning. I'm looking for that new picture. And I wanted to ask both of you, both being moms on the set, how challenging was it to transition from kick-ass cop to moochie coochie mom to kick-ass cop, or did you just stay the kick-ass cop that was just a great mom?
No, we're kind of gushy. Like,
Yeah.
By the time we get to our
Gushy.
trailers.
Yeah, and I mean, I know how quickly this all goes, and I like when I got my last baby, because my other two are like, my 10-year-old is literally talking to me about crushes and about hormones and all these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. And then my 7-year-old is like, what about me? I want alone time, Mom. I think you spend too much time with the baby and your sister. And I'm like, but we give you the most amount of time, Haven. And she's like, no, you don't. And then I have the baby, who's just a wonderful guy. He's like the best person I ever met. And so I wear him when I was on set. So like when we were rehearsing, it's like a 7-person rehearsal. Everyone had to leave. It's a closed set, just the director and all the actors. And Hayes is on me. And he is just there. Sometimes he whines, sometimes he doesn't. But yeah, I would, my kids are literally right up in there.
No, I mean, it became like a carousel, provided you had all your shots. Everyone was just sort of popping in, I think because I share so much of my fertility journey, it was just like, oh my gosh, there's an actual like little miracle that's in a trailer on set. Like, can I pop my head in? And she's just there like, unimpressed
Not
with
having
us all.
any of
Like,
it.
just
None of it at all.
from birth, she
Her
was like,
side eye. It's true.
I like that though. Shady Baby's the best.
She is.
You have to earn that love, and I like that. She's got standards. Next question.
Hi. Hello, my name is Rochelle, and this question is for both Jessica and Gabrielle. You have played many characters in your career, and Gabrielle just talked about, going through that negative experience with the rejection. What I'd love to know is, what feedback have you received from anyone, reviewers, peers, or fans, that have really made an impression on you, and why?
Trying to think of the ones that I remember that are not negative. This wasn't a negative comment. It wasn't negative commentary, but it was something I hadn't thought of. Sometimes when you're in a scene, if you're not talking, some actors, myself included, you just kind of don't know what to do with yourself. And listening can just look like you're flat. So if you ever watch a cop show and they're like running down, all the things, if you're watching Law and Order, next time watch how the other characters who aren't Benson are listening. And they call it active listening, where you're like,
It's true. It's a thing. It's true. It's a
but
thing.
it's like, because otherwise, in real life, you're just like, it has to be something, So I had this weird habit. I did a show called Night Stalker 1,000 years ago, and I found myself like nervous smiling. And like we'd be finding these like mutilated bodies, that were like mutilated by like zombies or monsters or whatever. And I'm just like, and somebody was like, if you don't stop smiling over the corpses, I'm gonna fight you. And I was like, oh God. And so then the next episode, I found myself like, so it was helpful because I clearly wasn't having good reactions when I wasn't talking.
So it made you a better actor.
It made me a better
There you
actor,
go.
aware of what I was doing.
Do you have a similar moment?
Mine's a little bit different. So I had my daughter about 11 years ago, and I sort of just had a different idea about how I wanted to even be in the business. So I just sort of thought that I wasn't going to be in it anymore, and I wasn't sure what else I was going to do. But I was just kind of like, this isn't working for me, and I appreciate where it's gotten me, but I feel like I need to do something else. And I went with Bono to Africa, and we went to Senegal, Ghana, and South Africa. and I went into the Sowetos there, and there was a group, like a community center, and they didn't have electricity, and they made actually an urban farm like right across the street, and they came there to sort of like, it's like a safe place to be after school, especially if their parents were working and whatnot. And they had choreographed and put together like an incredible dance, and they all had watched Honey, and they were like, and I was like, and Cash was like, "Don't you cry? They're so proud. Don't you cry?" And I'm like, "But I just can't keep it together, Cash. And that was when I really like, thinking about it is making me teary. But that's when I realized that what we do is really powerful.
It is. It means a
Those
lot
people,
to a lot of people.
they don't have a lot, and they took so much pride, and they were like, and we're gonna be able to travel around the world and like be something, and they have nothing. So.
But they had Honey Daniels.
They had Daniels.
What they had was
me out of this.
Honey Daniels.
So.
Thank you. Next question.
Hi, my name is Gloria Jules, and both you ladies are amazing. So my question is, do you guys get to shoot guns in the next role?
Like, well, remember when you almost took my head out?
Oh, well, there was that one time.
That one time.
Guys,
That one time.
kind of like me smiling over the corpse. My bad.
I was like,
So we got taken to the gun range by an LAPD dude, who shall remain nameless. And he, we were on the gun range, and is it live? It was live, and it was live. Listen, and I'm expressive with my hands, as you can see. I forgot I had my gun in my hand, and I was like, "Girl," and she was like, "Bitch, if you don't."
it was. Wait, what? Something had happened though.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
the
the
shells.
bullet.
The shells.
shell stuck
Okay.
to my blouse.
Other things they don't tell you. So
Yeah.
we had other things. We both had action-packed days. So I might have had a low V T-shirt or something on.
Yeah.
And when the spent shells are coming back,
It's like hot.
it's hot and it
And it
went
burns.
right down my cleavage. But I had my gun. So. It's funny now, but she wasn't.
Oh my God.
She wasn't as like. I was like kiki like when it was happening.
She didn't know. It was, yeah. Remember that?
Yep.
Memories.
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 My bad.
We have one question right here.
What were the most challenging moments of while filming the episodes, and also the most memorable?
The most challenging. I mean, well, there's the dude.
Oh, that one director?
That one director.
Yeah, he sucked.
Yeah. So that was challenging.
Well, it was like, Gab and I, because, we're kind of similar in that we tell the truth and we're blunt. And sometimes our tone.
We get a lot of tone
Feedback. And so if I'm, going in on someone, she'll pull back. And vice versa. If I see that she's going in, then I'll pull back. And we kind of do like good cop, bad cop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of. But this guy got both of us. We both.
It was.
Yeah.
And we had to handle him.
We paused the set. We had to pause for a minute. And these are like long days where you're like doing a lot. You don't really have a lot of time to pause, to take a moment. But he was being disrespectful.
Unreasonable.
Yeah.
We don't deal with inefficiency or illogic well
That's true.
at all.
Yeah. And he was both.
And he was both.
He was
at
both.
the same time.
Yeah.
Not a good combo on the
Nope.
set of LA's Finest with us.
No.
So
But I think the most challenging thing for anyone, and this isn't just for us, and I think everyone can relate to this, is, you're like, how much time and how committed am I going to be to my career and then how important is my personal life, and always trying to figure out like what's got to give, and that for me, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and you got to sleep for a bit of that, And so, and if your work is taking up a lot of that, then how do you, try to make the most of and make the most of that quality time that you spend with the people that you love?
And the most rewarding, there was the night shoot in Carson, where we were starving, and it was like, you got Twizzlers or cashews, take your pick. And Jessica went ham on Postmates. And because I was like, I don't think that they can have Postmates delivered to a random parking lot. Alas and alack, they can. And
I ordered from Postmates, Instacart, and Uber Eats. I ordered from all of them because I was like, one of these fools are gonna disappoint me, because every time they're like, right when your stuff's supposed to be delivered, they're like, canceled order, and so I wasn't having it.
but they all came.
They all came.
And it was a nice variety, because we were
Hot wings?
We were hot wings. It was like kimchi, hot wings,
Kimchi, hot
Soup.
wings, soup, hot Korean soup.
Yeah.
And maybe there was an adult beverage that was delivered.
And it
as
was a
well.
great day.
I didn't have my ID, so our AD had to sign off on it, but he didn't know what he was signing
Like, can
off
you just
on.
look at these gray hairs? We're over 21, kids.
It's fine.
Give me the booze.
That's like the delivery trifecta. I'm really proud of you. That's like my specialty. I'm really impressed.
Let's hang out.
Yes,
Because
I can
I will
order.
hook you up with something spicy and yummy and warm, with
it.
lots of flavor, and maybe tequila will be involved.
Always. Casamigos, please. And then the last question comes from Edward is the man. What was the hardest scene to shoot in the show?
I think the hardest scenes are with someone who's not giving you the most.
Shade.
All right. So that's that. And, okay, so clearly this chemistry that you guys see up here is what you see in the show. When I said that your characters are like women that I want to hang out with and be friends with, I meant that, and it's so rare to see that on TV. I don't see like strong, dynamic, complicated women that like are me and my friends, and this is this plus the action, plus the fighting, plus all the drama. So I think you guys nailed it with this show. If you guys want to check out LA's Finest, airs every Monday on Spectrum On Demand. Please put your hands together for Jessica Alba.
Thank you.
And Gabrielle Union.
Thank you, guys.